Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Funda of Agronomy, and I'm Sakhi Narendra Singh. I have secured All India rank 12th in JRF Agronomy 2024, and currently I just joined IRI CREDA to do my MSc in Agronomy. So in this series, in this video, I will start teaching you all the conceptual book, that is Principles of Agronomy by T. Elamenda Reddy and G. H. Sankara Reddy. Because this is the core book, so I got to know from a few seniors that this is the book which everyone get problems to read it. So today I just came to start this new series on my channel, and I'll try to be regular on this channel. So just be there and attend the lectures. Okay. So let's start. Hmm. So first will be uh, पहले हम देखते हैं कंटेंट्स. ओके. द किसी भी बुक को पढ़ने से पहले हमें उसके कंटेंट्स पता होने चाहिए कि व्हाट आर द चैप्टर्स आर देयर एंड व्हाट वी हैव टू रीड एंड व्हाट वी हैव टू लीव. ओके. Not all the things in the books given are to be like we have to read. Okay. So I'll teach you in this series. I'll teach you what you have to read and what you do not, what you have to just leave it. Okay. So the first chapter is introduction only. In this chapter, the I'll read the all the topics given. In this chapter, it is just the agronomy, what is agronomy, and some details about it, like what is agronomy, the branch of agronomy, what is firstly what is agriculture, and then about agronomy, that agronomy is a branch and all, and the development of agriculture. First, we read. Agriculture and agronomy. Okay, definitions, basic principle. We'll be studying basic principle, history of agriculture, ancient period, important events in history of agriculture, which is very important. I'll teach you in further lectures. Centers of origin of agriculture, development of agriculture in India, Middle Ages, agriculture is a science, scientific agriculture, branches of agriculture. So branches of one of the branch is agronomy only. So principles of agronomy, major events in agronomy, relation of agronomy to other sciences and scope of agronomy, role of agronomist, and the references are from which the details are taken. The second chapter is important. First chapter is you have to read it once only. Okay, you have to read it for once only, and उसके बाद आप उसके इम्पोर्टेंट नोट्स बना लें और उसको छोड़ दें. ठीक है. फिर आपको ये चैप्टर बार बार पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं है. In the second chapter, this is climate, very important chapter it is. In climate, we'll be studying the whole chapter in my coming lectures. So, definition, the atmosphere, structure of atmosphere, weather elements, solar radiation, temperature, atmospheric pressure, wind, humidity, evaporation. These all the weather elements we'll be studying in our further lectures. Okay. Rainfall, types of rainfall, amount, season of occurrence, intensity, distribution, effective rainfall, rainfall in different regions, El Nino, clouds, hydrological cycle, monsoon, enhancing precipitation, condensation, fog water collection, seasons. We'll be studying different seasons. Okay. Abnormalities in weather, floods, droughts, other abnormalities, cyclones, weather forecasting organizations, and essentials of weather forecasting. Okay. Forecasting information, types of weather forecasting, method of forecasting, weather modification, artificial rainmaking, reduction in wind velocity, protection against frost damage, heat trapping, classification of climate, agroclimatic zones of India, agroecosystem of India, climate change, very important. This is the like currently it is the topic which many people are doing research on. Okay. Sources of evidence, greenhouse gases, emission scenarios, general circulation models, global warming potential, impact, mitigation, adaptation, coping mechanism, public opinion. Okay. So this chapter is very important. You need to read it like 3 to 4 times firstly. These are the numbers I have revised it for. Okay. I have revised it before examination 3 to 4 times. Earlier to that, I read this chapter through 2 to 3 times. Okay, this is very like a good chapter, and it is given in a very good manner in this book. So climate is a very important chapter. Third is the influence of climate in crops. This chapter will take like when you will study for the first time, जब आप इसको पहली बार पढ़ेंगे तो आपको थोड़ा टाइम लगेगा एंड इस चैप्टर में थोड़ा रटने वाली चीजें भी हैं। मैं आपको बताऊंगी कि आपको क्या पढ़ना है और क्या नहीं पढ़ना है। सो आपको बस वीडियोस देखने हैं और उसके अकॉर्डिंग ही पढ़ना है, ठीक है? बिकॉज in this book, Principles of Agronomy by Reddy and Reddy, there are many things which are of research importance. Okay, in this examination, like JRF examination, the research work is not asked. Okay, so we have to leave that. So for that only, I have created this series. So that you should focus on only those topics which are important from exam point of view, leaving all the nonsense thing. Okay, which is no nonsense in the sense for examination point of view. Okay, so third chapter is influence of climate on crops. Okay, the first is solar radiation, um, photosynthetic effect. Matlab like in the second chapter we studied the weather elements. Now we are studying the influence of different weather elements on the plant metabolism. Okay, the solar radiation has a photosynthetic effect, photoperiodic effect, and there are other effects listed in this chapter. Utilization of solar energy, temperature, cardinal temperatures are there. Cardinal temperatures are the minimum, optimum, and maximum temperatures. Okay, so different crops have different different cardinal temperatures. There are cool season crops. Cool season crops are the rabi crops. Okay, there are warm season crops. Warm season crops means kharif crops. Influence of temperature on growth. Growing degree days. We'll be studying what is growing degree days, photothermal units, extreme temperature, rainfall. So, what is the effect? Like, what is rainfall climatology? What is the effect of relative humidity? How it is related with the plant water relation and leaf growth, photosynthesis, pollination, everything. So, climate is what is like affecting and these all leaf growth, photosynthesis. So we'll be studying in this chapter only. Okay. The fourth chapter is growth and development of crops. This is a chapter in which the plant physiology part is given. Okay. So in the first half, there is the growth and physiological processes, photosynthesis, respiration, net photosynthesis, translocation of assimilate, growth and all. This is the first half till the translocation of assimilates. You have to read this from first from the LN modules, like plant physiology topic. When you will be reading from that and do make notes of you will be having YouTube has lots of videos on plant physiology. I personally watched there was a teacher in an academy NEET, Komal Yadav. I watched her lecture, so it was really helpful. So you can watch it from there. So make notes and after that come to this chapter and then read this topic. Okay, and then the comment. There is the growth, morphological aspects, germination, emergence, root growth, inflorescence, seed and fruit growth, developmental stages will be. In this chapter, we'll be studying what is growth, how the growth we measure, and the developmental stages will be studying different developmental stages. Okay. Physiological growth component factor influencing growth and development, plant grown substances, growth expression, analysis of growth, development and yield, growth analysis, developmental analysis, and yield analysis. There are different factors which are used to, check the growth. Okay, so we'll be studying in this chapter only. Okay, so this chapter you have to read for 2 to 3 times. And the above chapter, this chapter surely you have to read for 2 to 3 times. Then only you'll start getting the topic. Okay, but I'll be teaching you, so you'll take less time to understand it. So the fifth chapter is soil environment and its modification. Very important. It is like soil. We have a particular unit for soil fertility and problematic soils. Okay, so soil is a very important um, topic for our examination. And in this chapter, you will be studying soil formation, rocks and minerals, weathering, factor influencing soil formation, soil forming processes, soil development, soil profile, soil physical environment. What is physical environment? Soil texture, soil structure, soil water, soil temperature, soil air, pore space, and other properties. So next will be our chemical environment. Okay, in chemical environment we study soil pH, clay mineral, cation exchange capacity, anion exchange capacity, humus, organic carbon, buffering capacity, soil solution, and nutrients environment. Okay, then the soil biological environment. What are the organisms which are present in soil and how they affect the growth of plant? So we'll be studying this. Okay, influence of soil environment, transformation of nutrients. We'll be studying how the nutrients in soil get transferred and get available to the plants. Okay, the degradation of toxic chemical, modification of biological environment, land degradation, environment of submerged soil. How the submerged soil, you'll be having this question that the pH of submerged soil, why it comes to neutral. If it is if it is an acidic soil, then after submerging it will come to the neutral only. Okay, and if before it is alkaline soil, then it gets converted into, when it is submerged, it gets converted into this it will reach to the neutrality. Okay, so why is this? We'll be studying the concept here. So physical environment, chemical environment, biological environment. Okay, so this is a very important topic for concept building in soil science. And the next is tillage. For this chapter fifth, you have to read it 2 to 3 times at least. And the next chapter is tillage. Tillage, you have to just read it for once and make like 10 to 15 points you'll get of JRF importance and leave this chapter. Okay. And then sow seeds and seed sowing. This is the chapter which needs like one reading or 1.5 two reading. Okay, and then leave it. This plant population chapter is very important. Okay, plant population chapter. For when you'll be reading first time, you'll get nothing. Okay, so then don't get depressed about it. Okay, you have to read it second time, and then you'll start getting things what is given in this. Okay, so yield of individual plants and community, plant population and growth, plant population and yield, biological and economic yield, optimum plant population, optimum plant population and environment, planting pattern, gap filling. What is gap filling? And resowing, seed rate. These all will be studying in the plant population chapter. And the ninth is the most important chapter. You have to read this chapter 5 to 6 times. Okay, it is a very important chapter. So soil fertility is a very important topic from JRF point of view. So in this, we will be studying mineral nutrition, essential elements, the criteria of essentiality, the classification of essential element, nutrient availability, absorption of nutrient, translocation, assimilation, functions of nutrient in plant, deficiency symptoms. Like different elements have different deficiency symptom in different plants. Toxicity symptoms, manure. So it is divided into two parts. First is the mineral nutrition. Second is the manures. Okay, manures will be studying bulky organic manure, which is required in large quantity because they have very little amount of nutrient in it. And concentrated organic manure, it has comparatively compared to bulky organic manure, they have large amount of nutrient in it. Okay, so these are required in less amount. Amendments. Okay, so then we'll be studying fertilizers, classification of fertilizer. Then fertilizers, there are nitrogen fertilizers. There are like fertilizers which provide nitrogen. Okay, there will be phosphatic fertilizer which provide phosphorus. Potassic fertilizers provide potassium, like calcium, magnesium, sulfur. These are fertilizers we'll be studying. Okay, micronutrients are very important for plant. So along with these NPK, the major fertilizers, major nutrients which come in fertilizers, we the plant, like plant need also the micronutrients. Okay, and then fertilizer dose, calculation of how to calculate the fertilizer dose, method of fertilizer application, factor influencing, method of fertilizer application, different methods. Okay, time of application also, crop uptake, soil properties and nature of fertilizer, utilization of carbohydrate, basal application, split application, biofertilizer, saprophytes, symbiotic bacteria, free living organism, integrated nutrient management. Okay, so this chapter is divided into three parts. First is the mineral nutrition, second is manures and fertilizers, and third is the this biofertilizers. Okay, so this is a very important chapter. You should read it 3 to 4 times at least. Then comes the irrigation. Irrigation, you should read it twice, and because it is not given that much, so you have to read this twice only and make notes and leave. You can leave this. Okay. Water resources of the world, water resources of India, water in the soil, plant, atmosphere system, water movement in the soil, water uptake, translocation. ET will be studying soil water, water requirement of different crops, factor affecting ET and crop yield, estimation of ET, how we can estimate evapotranspiration. Irrigation requirement will be studying, like different crops have different irrigation requirement. Okay, and scheduling irrigation, matlab different crops require different amount of water at different stage. Okay, so how we can schedule the environment irrigation, so we'll be studying. Okay, how we decide that which crop needs water at which stage. Soil moisture depletion approach, climatology. There are different approaches of scheduling irrigation. Okay, so depletion approach is there, climatological approach, combination approach, critical stage approach, simple techniques of irrigation scheduling, measurement of irrigation water, methods of irrigation, subsurface irrigation. The methods of irrigation very important. Okay, by these methods of irrigation, previous year questions are asked. Okay, so sprinkler irrigation, micro irrigation is very important. Irrigation water control devices are there. Irrigation efficiency is very important. Water use efficiency, factor affecting water use efficiency, suitability of water for irrigation. What kind of water can be used for irrigation, and what kind of water cannot be used for irrigation based on the salt content in it. Okay, quality of irrigation water will be studied. Quality of water of different sources, irrigation with poor quality water, like if there is only poor quality water and we have to irrigate with that only, what measures we should take to use that poor quality water in crops without affecting the productivity of crops. Okay, then next is drainage, very important, because many places, like the places where the water excess moisture gets stored. Okay, so we have to drain it, otherwise we'll not be able to take a proper productivity from that field. Okay. Then agricultural drainage. The next is the soil conservation topic. So in this irrigation, you have to from like I have read it twice and made certain points, because before that I read it from the SR Reddy book, Principles of Agronomy by SR Reddy, and the Agronomy Facts. So that's why I read this chapter twice only. Okay. And then the next chapter is soil conservation. Soil conservation is a chapter you just need to read it two times. After two times, you will be you can complete this chapter in half an hour only. Okay. Then soil erosion, water erosion. In this chapter, we'll be studying factor influencing water erosion, soil loss equation, losses due to erosion, extent of erosion, soil conservation, erosion preventing measures. What are the erosion preventing measures are taken for, to conserve the soil? Wind erosion, mechanism of wind erosion, factor influencing wind erosion, effectiveness of soil conservation measures, losses due to wind erosion, estimating soil loss due to wind erosion control, wave erosion, watershed management, wasteland management. These all will be studying in soil conservation. Then the dryland agriculture, very important. Why? Because like 2 to 3 questions are generally asked from this topic. Okay, and like dryland agriculture is given in a very good manner in this book. So I think you should read this at least 3 times at least, and after that you should revise it. Okay. So first introduction, definition, progress of research, drought or moisture stress management of development of moisture stress, effect of moisture stress, crop adaptation, drought evaluation. How we will be evaluating drought? How can we by seeing crop or by seeing soil? How can we say that the drought situation is arrived? So there will be techniques for it. There are techniques for it. Okay, then breeding for drought resistance, because some if in some field or in some area the climate is that the drought is very common in that, for say in Rajasthan. Okay, so we have to grow varieties which are drought resistant also, because if we'll try to grow rice in Rajasthan, it will be very difficult and it will not be cost effective. So we'll be using that varieties only who are drought resistance in the Rajasthan kind of state. Okay. Moisture conservation, soil moisture storage, a reduction of ET losses, mulches, soil conditions, tillage, water harvesting, methods of water harvesting, soil resources and their utilization, reducing ET losses, mulches, anti-transparents. Anti-transparents are very important topic. Windbreaks will be studying what is the difference between windbreak and shelter belts. Many students generally have this confusion. Are the windbreaks and the shelter belts are same? No, because windbreaks can be anything. Can be anything. It can be a building. It can be tree. It can be anything. But shelter belts are the row of trees only, which hinder the coming wind. Okay. So this is the difference between windbreaks and shelter belts. Weed control, contingent cropping. What is contingent cropping? So we'll be studying contingent cropping, because like for say from the starting of the cropping system, for say we are starting for say we have a we have decided that in kharif we'll be sowing rice, and in rabi we'll be sowing uh, mustard. Okay. Okay. But for some reason, the monsoon got delayed. Okay. So the variety which we were thinking to sow will not be able to sow it, because the rains didn't came on the right time. So we have to change this cropping system, this cropping pattern we have decided. So we have to change it, and that the change would be according to the climate only. So that is contingent cropping. मतलब हमने क्लाइमेट चेंज के साथ या मॉनसून के चेंज होने के साथ में क्या किया, हमको लॉस कम हो तो हम कोई और क्रॉपिंग सिस्टम अपना रहे हैं, कि हमारा एकदम जो बिल्कुल मतलब हम ऐसा तो नहीं कर सकते कि हम राइस लगाएं ही ना. So, क्योंकि अगर हम राइस लगाएंगे तो we'll get into the loss. So, to minimize that loss, we go for the contingent cropping. Okay, then drought management practices, watershed management. These will be studying in the dryland. Dryland is very important, and it is given in a very good manner in this chapter, in this book. Okay, then the weed management, very important, and you should read it. Because I read weed management from the T.K. Das sir book, Basics and Application. Then after I came to this book, and I read it 2 to 3 times, and after that I made important notes which I missed. Okay, which I didn't got to read in T.K. Das. So I read it three to four times I read it. Like 2 times I read it and 2 times I revised it. Okay. Then the concept of weed problems, the classification of weed growth stages, crop weed competition, critical period of weed competition. Like every crop has a critical period for crop weed competition. Huh? Plant influencing critical period of factor influencing critical period of weed competition, establishment of weed control methods, cultural methods of weed control, physical methods of weed control, biological weed control, chemical weed control. These all will be studying. And classification of herbicides, very important. So weed management is divided into two parts. First, we'll be studying about the weed, and then we'll be studying about the herbicides. Okay, herbicides are the chemicals which kill herbs. Okay, then herbicides formulation, mode of action of herbicides, selectivity of herbicides, methods of application, dosage of application, time of application of herbicide. Because if we miss the time for say a herbicide is meant to be applied as pre-emergence, and we use it at post-emergence. So the selective crop will show non-selectivity because we applied it at the wrong stage. Okay, the one who are not getting what I am saying, I'll be teaching this, and the one who are getting it, then it's fine. Selectivity is okay. I'll teach you in further videos. Okay, this video will become long only. Okay, the time of application of herbicide, effects of herbicide on crop, fate of herbicides in soil. When we put herbicides in soil now, so what is their fate? How it is getting absorbed in by crop, or it is getting fixed in soil. So we'll be studying the fate of herbicide. Okay, and herbicide combination, interaction with other agrochemical, like herbicide can be mixed with fertilizer, can be mixed with fungicides also. So what is their effect on the plant? So we will be studying in this section. Then integrated weed management. Okay, integrated weed management is weed management via mechanical measures also, cultural methods, and the chemical. Like if we are using different methods to control the weed, it will be termed as integrated weed management. And this agronomic methods of pest management, I haven't read this chapter. But if you want to read once and make notes. I think 2 or 3 topics you will get of JRF importance. Otherwise, you can leave it. Okay, then the next chapter is cropping system. Cropping system is important, very important actually, I'll say. Read it 2 to 3 times. System approach we'll be studying. Farming system, cropping system, companion cropping, crop rotations, efficient cropping system, interaction between different components, assessment of yield advantage, and assessment of land use, economic evaluation, management of cropping system. Here we'll be studying different equations through which we decide the productivity or the everything we'll be studying in the assessment of yield advantage, which will assess how we are getting the yield advantage and everything. Okay, then the harvesting and storage, you can read it once only. If you don't want to read it, you can leave it, but I will suggest you to read it, okay, one time. Then the quality of agriculture produce, one time read chapter it is. And then the sustainable agriculture, read it one time, and precision agriculture, read it one time only. So those chapters which I said you should read it 2 to 3 times, just read it. And from the next video, I'll be teaching you the I'll be starting from the first chapter only. So see you in the next video, and thank you for watching, and thank you so much. See you in the next video.